How about a more productive conveyor system for the 21st century? That's what Ward Systems' Power Pallet is. Not simply an improvement of the old, but a new and better approach. A Power Pallet conveyor system is faster and smarter, easier and more flexible to apply, easier and faster to troubleshoot, less expensive to maintain, uses less floor space, and runs quieter. A conventional conveyor plugs along at one speed, first gear so to speak, and it can never be sped up. How is the Power Pallet better? You give the Power Pallet a straightaway and it takes off at up to 360 feet a minute, often 10 times the speed of a conventional conveyor. The Power Pallet's speed between stations can increase your productivity in assembly and material handling. If there were a way to increase your productivity, say just 5%, you'd be interested, wouldn't you? Well, the kind of pallet speed increase we're talking about could increase your productivity far beyond that. But you can't have pallets coming to abrupt stops at workstations at 360 feet a minute, right? That's 4 miles per hour. You can't have product flying off pallets all over the place. We know. If your current conveyor system runs at, say, 25 to 30 feet per minute, then it crashes to a halt at that speed. But the Power Pallet is different. The Power Pallet runs at up to 360 feet a minute, about 10 times the speed of a typical system, but the Power Pallet is smart. It knows when it's coming to a workstation, and just before stopping, it actually decelerates. It slows down quickly and gradually down to about 7 feet per minute. A conventional conveyor system pallet crashes to a stop at 100% of its top speed, but the Power Pallet, by the time it stops, has slowed down to just 2% of its top speed. The Power Pallet is also easier and more flexible to apply. Some factories change their production layout pretty often, and every time the whole conveyor system has to be changed. It's expensive and time-consuming. Well, the Power Pallet excels in that kind of application. You just rearrange the inert track. It's only extrusion. Unlike conventional conveyor systems, the Power Pallet's track has no moving parts. It's like a simple erector set. You just rearrange the track with little or no loss of the existing system. Put the Power Pallets on the track and you're up and running again. The Power Pallets and the intersections are the same no matter what the system layout is. And ask your corporate management whether they might like to forestall facility expansion for a while. With the Power Pallet, you could increase the output of your existing space by 50% or more and meet increasing production goals for years without facility expansion. The Power Pallet also dramatically reduces downtime. What's your average downtime now? If it's 5% or less, you're doing better than most, but 5% is still hundreds of hours a year. How would you like to see that go to near zero? A Power Pallet conveyor system could give you near zero downtime. How? Changing a Power Pallet is as easy as changing a light bulb. What if every light bulb in your facility were hardwired all the way back to the circuit breaker panel? Changing a light bulb would be a major maintenance operation, wouldn't it? But that would be crazy, shutting down your whole system just to service one small part of it. Exactly. But isn't that what a conventional conveyor system amounts to? When it goes down, many times, the whole production line comes grinding to a halt. First you have to troubleshoot it, unhook all the chains, belts, links, electrical connections, fix the problem, then hook it all back up. That's a lot of downtime. If a Power Pallet goes down, you simply lift it off the track and replace it, and the system keeps running. No downtime. Hot swapping a Power Pallet takes literally just a minute. That means you wouldn't need as much tech support. You'd have more application flexibility too. For example, every Power Pallet goes forward or reverse on command. A conventional conveyor is a one-way street. You have to go around the block just to get back to where you were. By contrast, this is a two-way street. Any Power Pallet can travel efficiently from any station to any station, regardless of whether it's upstream or downstream. This obviously eliminates the need for expensive control cabinets and reversing motor starters. That's another big savings right there. Want to save more money? How about less maintenance, less often, and lower electric bills? In a conventional conveyor system, the whole road is moving the whole time. When a pallet is stopped at a workstation, the conveyor motors continue to turn, of course. So there's drag on the system. The motors have to work harder and use more electricity. but not with a power pallet system. With power pallet, there simply is no back pressure accumulation. Wheels, bearings, and drive belts are moving, and electricity is being consumed only when the pallet is traveling between stations, not when it's standing idle at a station. How much flexibility would you have with the physical design of a power pallet system? How long can the track be, for example, and how wide? The tracks can be any length or width you want. The power pallets themselves can be any length or width you want too. What about payload? How much weight can a power pallet carry? Even the smaller power pallets carry up to 250 pounds. If you needed it, power pallets can be made to carry over 2,000 pounds. Each power pallet is strong enough to carry its payload, yet can be stopped by one hand, keeping your employees safe. Some of your products might not be too heavy, but they're big. The power pallet can be made to carry a much larger product. And by the way, without a much larger cost. That's because the components inside the power pallet are based on the weight payload. There would be longer axles and bigger sheet metal, but the insides, the motor, the wheels, the bearings, the battery, the controller, the photo eyes, they'd all be the same. So the power pallet has the same kinds of parts as any conveyor system, and they're all off-the-shelf components too. No trick parts, no custom boards, no custom controllers. A power pallet system runs quieter too, much quieter. There's no chain noise, no spinning rollers. Quieter is better for everybody all the way around. So Ward Systems has taken all the components you normally find spread throughout the system, the photo eyes, the controls, the bearings, the motors, and has put them in these smart boxes, power pallets. This approach reduces the headaches associated with installing the system, wiring controls, and writing software. The power pallet is just smart enough to make the controls a cinch, just complicated enough to make the software simple. And that makes applying the power pallet a breeze. And for all of its advanced functionality and lower operating costs, a power pallet conveyor system costs no more than a conventional system. In many cases less, especially when you consider your dramatically lower future maintenance costs. For more on the many benefits of power pallet conveyor systems, contact Ward Systems and let us take you into the 21st century.